Ryan Drell here for All Access MMA, and I have Devonte Smith on the show now, who will be fighting on October the 2nd at UFC Vegas 38 against Jaime Mullarkey. Devonte, how are you?
I'm good, man. Hungry, but I'm good.
Yeah, and we're really excited to see you back in the octagon here. How has this camp at Factory X been for you this far?
It's been good. I got a lot of good people helping me out. I'm at one of those points where I'm just excited to fight. I'm excited to fight and fight. Like I've been out here for about 3 months. It is like the anticipation for me is gone. I just want to fight, get in, get out, go home with this win.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tell me about this camp. Who have your main partners been as far as when you get that working with?
So I've been working with my guy Jacoby. We call him Critiquez, but Chris Gutierrez, Yusuf, my guy Markel, Cody Brundage, and anybody that can truly like help me get to where I need to get. And my guy Jonathan Martinez too, and really just whoever can help me get to where I need to be. You know, where I'm like messing up in this area, and this is his specialty. So if he can beat me up for that day and help me get better, that's what I'm going to.
Yeah, Factory X is really such an outstanding gym. I mean, you're seeing more and more fighters make the move to Colorado to train there. How long have you been at Factory X now?
I believe since 2018. So it's 2021. 3 years going on 4.
Where do you see the most evolution in your overall skill set since you've made the move there?
All around, just being an MMA fighter, you know, not just a boxer, Muay Thai, wrestler, grappler, jiu-jitsu, like all over, overall, like a MMA fighter, knowing what to do when certain situations like arise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, things are clearly going well for you, man. You had a nice victory your last time out over Justin James, and I'm sure you didn't want the fight to necessarily end that way, but, I mean, you really targeted the eye, and it blew up, so it is what it is. What was your initial takeaway when the docs, waved it off, and, is that something that, maybe a rematch we could see down the line?
I was happy it ended that way, because that means I can go home now. Like you ain't see me smiling. There was like I forgot who came to me and said the fight's over. I'm like, it's fun, it's done. I won. Cool. I ain't gotta keep going. Cool. Because I was about to be jabbing his eye. I'm trying to go home. I ain't even like it's fun, but again, get in, get out. And like I got a doctor stoppage in the UFC, so that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, it was over a tough opponent. Like, how pleased was your team, with that performance, going in there, and really putting it on them on the feet?
I mean, everybody's usually proud of me, whether win, I ain't gonna say lose, because they was proud of me then, but I don't want to talk about that. But they're usually proud of me. They're a very supportive team. I feel like they're just like any other team in the sense like everybody got the jokes and stuff like that. But everybody was more like, wow, that throw. Like that was the main thing everybody was talking about. But other than that, great job. I'm happy you won. I see you when I see you. And I'm like, yep, I see y'all when I see you. I'm going home.
How important was that to get back in the winning column after the loss to Kama, a year and a half prior to that? Did that do a lot for your confidence to go in there and beat a tough guy and get a stoppage?
Yeah, but not really. It was more so like, I don't want to say you win some, you lose some. It was like that was that, and this is this. They don't connect always. It's more so like I lost because of this, that, and this is just a whole new opponent. So I just took it as this, as what he was, just a whole nother opponent, and just fixed what I was like lacking when I went against Kama.
Yeah, and what can you take from that loss to Kama? I mean, I know this is the highest of levels. Sometimes you get caught and it happens, but what have you, I guess, learned that you needed to do to improve your skill set from that loss to Kama?
Don't matter who it is. If they sign that contract, they get the same treatment as anybody else that you didn't know. So hats off to him always, but I learned a valuable lesson. So, and I just grew from that.
Yeah, and again, before before the Justin James win, I mean, we hadn't seen you for a year and a half. So that was a long time away from action. Is that just because of COVID and the pandemic, or are there any other reasons that kept you away from active competition?
I ruptured my Achilles. So I had surgery, and I basically stayed away from anything for like a year and a half because when I came back, I wanted that ability to just be myself, not focusing on what if this happens and it feels tender this day. I heard a pop on that day. I just wanted to come back and just be myself, and that's what I did.
Yeah. So how did that happen? How did the rupturing of the Achilles happen? And what was that rehab like? I mean, that must have been brutal to get back to 100%.
So I was sparring, and I made the same move that I made 100 to 1,000 to a million like times. He threw I was going against my guy Yusuf. He threw like a flying knee, and I backed up, and then he switched it off from a flying knee to a head kick. And I went from an orthodox to a southpaw stance. And I remember when he kicked me and I blocked it, I felt a lot of pressure in my Achilles, but I wasn't like focused on it because I mean, who thinks about that? I wasn't, I just felt pressure. And then I felt like a pop. It felt like somebody stumped on the back of my ankle. If I'm in a dorsiflex motion with my feet, it felt like somebody like just stumped on my ankle because I'm like, and so I'm in pain for like 5-10 minutes. I ask people to take my gloves off because it's like I want to rub my legs. And I keep looking behind me, like, who was behind me? I'm in pain, but I'm trying to think who was behind me. I'm like, hey, bro, who was behind me? They like, nobody. And I was like, nah, man, somebody had to like step on like who was behind me. It was like nobody. So I'm like, all right. So after the pain stopped, I was like, okay, I think I'm cool. I stood up and my leg felt like a noodle. And I'm like, oh, that don't feel right. I just knew something was wrong. Even though I tried to think positive, that just didn't feel right. And I remember we went to they took me to the ER, and I'm limping and stuff. They get me in the wheelchair and wheel me in. I'm not feeling any pain right now. I'm just like, what the F? Like, I just lost the comma. I'm trying to come back. And now this. And when they took me to the back room, the doctor, I guess she told me to lay on my stomach. And I guess they got to squeeze on your calf to see if the attachment is there. Oh my gosh, I almost backhanded it. I almost did, man, because it was that much pain, and I had to stop myself. Because I'm like, what do you do? I didn't know, but I'm like, what are you doing? Like, who does that? Like, I'm saying that I might have ruptured my Achilles, and you just squeeze it on my calves. And so yeah, she was like, oh, I think it's ruptured. They went to go get x-rays, and they asked, I forgot what the question was, but they asked me a question like I was the doctor, and I was like super confused, like, you should know this. But come to find out that I basically ruptured my Achilles all the way through, which was an amazing feeling. Uh, uh, going through, that darkness, but I've been through it before. So it wasn't as bad. It just sucked not being able to like do anything, not able to walk, not able to move. Like my family had to like basically take care of me. And it was a very you can say humbling, but it was a very weird flip, because I'm used to being very active and productive and doing things when I want to do things. But when you can't use one of your limbs, bro, that's when you really appreciate, having those like limbs, the things. Um, and then I remember getting back into rehab, and that was a weird thing, like trying to figure out how to walk again, because you have to start with the heel and then roll it and then bringing the foot up. And it took a while for me to not even gain the confidence, just to gain the strength. a whole year and a half of just gaining that strength back to be able to walk again or push weights.
Wow. So it took you almost that full year and a half to actually get back to where you are now, ready for a fight?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, doctor told me, it's best to wait out the whole year, So I listened to the doctor. He was like, if it ruptures again, the second time is not as good. So
Yeah. How confident do you feel right now? Do you feel, 100% like you're not worried about it at all?
yeah, I'm good. Sometimes I forget. I'm straight.
Well, that's a good thing. Now, this fight obviously will be at 155. What is that weight cut for you like to get to lightweight? Is it pretty easy?
I say it's pretty easy because I know my body. I wrestled in high school. They taught us the wrong way to lose weight. But as I got older and got into the fighting thing, I learned about diet and I learned about my specific body type and what I do and don't like and what I can and can't do. So the weight cut is not my weight cut for Justin James. It was a pretty smooth thing. So how I'm feeling right now, I feel like it's going to be the same thing, pretty smooth and chill.
Would you ever consider going all the way down to 45 or fighting at 70? Or is 55 just that's it?
That's it. 55, I'm cool. 45, I would literally have to kill myself. Like I'm cool. That's not a fun feeling. I don't feel like being drained. I'm not scared of these guys who 6 foot. It is what it is. The 70ers, I'm cool because they coming down from 200 all the way to the world. I'm straight. So I'm gonna stay in my lane. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna do.
Okay, good enough. Let me get a quick fight pick from you. Whenever the championship bout between Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier happens, who will be the unified, undisputed, official UFC lightweight champ?
Who was it again? Is Dustin Poirier and Oliveira?
Yes, sir.
I give it to Poirier because he's bigger, he's a veteran, and he's a black belt just like Oliveira is, and he's pretty sneaky, and he's pretty he's up there in that caliber. So I really feel like it's his size that's going to be the winning factor.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. One other pick here before we dive into your fight. This weekend, the main event is Volkanovski and Ortega for the featherweight title. Who do you see winning that one?
Alexander, he's a fighter. He's short, stubby. He's a fighter, and I'm pretty sure he's been working on his jits. Ortega, he's really good, obviously, with his jits, but he stands tall. And if because he Alexander went against Max Holloway, and Max Holloway is a tall fighter too, and you've seen how he did him with the calf kicks. So Ortega, only his way is either catching him with a flying knee, something that Alexander didn't see, or jits obviously. But other than that, I just see Alexander winning because of his short stature and his stance and his IQ when he's going against taller fighters.
Gotcha. I can't wait for this card. It's a great UFC pay-per-view as always. Now your opponent Jaime Mullarkey, he's 13-4. He's actually coming off a round one finish over Kama Worthy. So you got someone that you know pretty well right there. So when you look at this matchup stylistically, what kind of a fight do you think we're going to see come fight night?
A boxing grappling match. Depends on how he wants to come out. I'm just ready to fight. To be real with you, like he's a zombie. He could take a hit. His boxing is pretty good. He's just another fighter for real. He pushes in. He's ready to fight. He's lost to two really good guys, so he is there to win. He's there to fight. So I'm ready for anything and everything.
Do you feel this fight goes the distance, or are you going to get a submission or knockout? Like, how do you see this ultimately ending?
Me winning, whether it's by KO, TKO, unanimous decision. I ain't gonna say split because that mean I was getting hit too, and they had to think about it. But me winning, because anything happens, maybe get him by submission. You never know. But as long as I win, that's all I care about.
All right, man. Well, I'm excited to see you back in the cage. It's been far too long. Again, Devonte Smith will meet Jaime Mullarkey on October the 2nd at UFC Vegas 38. Pleasure interviewing you for the first time, man. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
All right, cool. So everybody, my name's is long. So it's KOE_KINGKAGE UFC. That's where you can find me at. And also go follow the Traveling Circus _. That's Cleveland, Ohio's first MMA show, showing, basically what I do when I'm out here in Colorado, when I'm back in Cleveland with my my fight camps and my out fight camps.